East floor by floor. At the very top, the name Danny Thomas was up there. Joey Bishop on the marquee. You'll see he was one of the performers at the time. And then in 1965, the Sands Tower opened, and that's how it looked as it came together back in the mid-60s. Quite a little historical moment. We've got all sorts of little historical vignettes to give you a flavor of what the Sands was like in its heyday, including the entertainment. Robin Burke's been following that. We'll switch now live to Robin.
Thanks, Steve. You know, there are 36 suites and 702 rooms in the Sands, but there's really only one room worth mentioning, and there was no room like the Copa Room. Obviously, that was not it, and hopefully we can get that back for you on here pretty soon. There were names like Nat King Cole. Danny Thomas, in fact, was the first name ever to be put on the marquee. It was the famous place for the Rat Pack, of course, and hopefully, do we have that tape? Okay, we're going to go back to Steve Krupe now.
Okay, Robin, what you were actually looking at in that videotape that you saw was a time capsule. You saw people putting things inside this time capsule, which was buried into the ground back in 1953 on the one-year anniversary of the Sands. And they tell us that that time capsule has been recovered. It's been pulled from the ground out there at the Sands, and that they're holding it in a safe place until they build the new resort out there, a $1.8 billion mega resort, and that Sands time capsule will be put back into the ground. Here you see it, folks putting things in it, stars putting their autographs on it. The writing on there says that the capsule would be buried amid the sands of time to be reopened 100 years from 1953. That would put it at the year 2053. And there it goes, the time capsule machine. They pressed some buttons. They launched the time capsule, and whoosh, down into the ground it went. It was quite a time back then. They really played things up in a way that we don't often do in these modern days. So that time capsule, they're going to put it back in the ground and perhaps dug up back in 2053. So we're going to send it back to Robin Burke and get more on the entertainers who performed at the Sands. Robin?
Thanks, Steve. We are definitely going to try this again. Once again, let's take you back to December 1952 when the star line heading on the marquee was Danny Thomas. This was the very first show in the famed Copa Room, December 1952, with Danny Thomas as the featured performer. That was just the beginning, though, of what would become the most unforgettable lineup of entertainers in Las Vegas history.
Unforgettable, that's what you are.
Nat King Cole performed at the Sands. So did Chubby Checker, as well as some spectacular opening acts, like the Clark Brothers. But of course, the biggest showbiz bonanza was provided by a trio of entertainers known as the Rat Pack.
What a nut.
Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., and Frank Sinatra.
And save me the first dance in your dreams tonight.
A time in Las Vegas history that will never be repeated, and it's something that just really has the Sands Hotel at the heart of so many entertainers. They loved playing here, and a lot of them sent letters on the last day here at the Sands saying how sad they were to see that Las Vegas couldn't see fit to let it stand. But that's not going to happen, as we all know. That doesn't happen around here. The new mega resort will be coming in soon. Back to you guys in the studio.
Alrighty, Robin Burke reporting live. Have fun out there. Watch it. It's coming your way.
Yeah, be careful.
Well, now the amazing implosion is just a little more than 5 minutes away.
And as you can see, we have more cameras, more angles of the Sands implosion than you can even imagine. Here's a look at our exclusive balcony cam. This will give you a look at the implosion that you won't see anywhere else. It's on the top floor of the Sands, and you'll get to experience the Sands tumbling down.
But that isn't the only camera up our sleeve, so to speak. Yes, we have a resurrected blast cam. It is positioned to have the hotel fall right on top of it. And what you're looking at right now is from Live Chopper 13. You will get the aerial view, and that will be spectacular. We promise that. There are 9 other cameras around the sands as well. There's blast cam. Now, there you go. Blast cam is situated underneath. So when that baby falls, it is coming right towards it.
The building will fall on top of this camera.
Just as it did with the landmark, and it survived.
The camera survived.
That's
we'll
right.
See if it survives
just keeps
tonight.
on ticking. We're going right now. There is a street level camera right there. I believe Mr.
Right
Gieser
behind
was
that
out.
hotel sign there that you see in the middle.
Little
There's
tab.
the sands.
We're going up to mast cam right now. Again, we'll give you a little higher view, a little aerial view. You've got the big sand sign that within 5 minutes will no longer be standing. And that is absolutely unbelievable. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to get on with it. We want to go ahead and show you all those, the map, and that's really covering from all different angles, 12 different angles.
It's surrounded, and we're going back to Steve Krupe now, and what I'm calling Krupe Cam. Are you ready, Steve, for the show?
We are ready. We've been preparing for it all night and now into the morning. And we just heard that the blast engineers have given an 8-minute warning. So it looks like it's going to go off a minute or two past 2 a.m. 8 minutes is what we heard just a few seconds ago. And of course, from high above, we're keeping an eye on things. Mark Martinez is up there in Live Chopper 13. Mark.
Well, that's right, Steve. We've been joined up here by some other helicopters as well, so attracting a lot of attention from the sky. Now, we can also tell you it's kind of windy up here right now. We're feeling it about 10 or 15 miles an hour, and it's quite cold. And we're also noticing some people in their hotel rooms have a lot of lights on, so I don't know if we have the best view in the house. I think I'd rather be inside one of those warm suites watching this. But that's the view from Live Chopper 13. Now back to you on the ground, Steve.
Monitor the countdown. The countdown now probably around 7 minutes and counting at last word. And our very own Mark Sayer has been monitoring things from within the blast zone. He's right down as close as a human can get to the base of the building. Mark?
Well, Steve, we've seen a lot of balcony cam. I was on the crew on Sunday that went up and put balcony cam up. And just to describe a little bit about what the inside of the building looks like, we were not allowed to take any pictures in there. But literally, you go up 16 floors, and there are bathtubs on every level. There are walls that are knocked out. I mean, this one of the 7 biggest hotels in Las Vegas just 40 years ago. And you're now looking at a live picture of balcony cam about 200 feet off the ground or so. And it was almost sad to go through there and to see what used to be such a tremendous symbol of Las Vegas, and literally to see toilets and bathtubs on the stairwells and in the halls, and engineers drilling holes in to put their explosives in. We can also tell you that the blast engineers say they've never really seen a building quite reinforced like this. They believe that the Sands was built before the latest studies of earthquake engineering had been conducted, and so they really reinforced this thing, and they indicated, the blast officials indicated, that they really had to get in there and drill extensively to put their dynamite in. And they almost couldn't believe it. They couldn't believe that something in Nevada, 200 miles from Southern California, which is known for earthquake area, would be so reinforced. But they're in there, and they believe that everything is all set. The building is going to fall to the northeast rather, directly toward us. And with the winds that you heard Mark Martinez talking about, we are expecting the dust cloud to come right over us.
All right, that's Mark Sayer down inside the blast zone, and we haven't heard an update on the countdown, although we believe we're about 5 minutes or less away from the implosion. Our Mike Gieser is down on street level. He's been following things, the view you'll get from the Strip. Mike, take it away.
Yeah, Steve, in a scene reminiscent of New Year's Eve, the Strip has been closed from Spring Mountain all the way down to Harrah's, but if you look past me, you can see that police have set up tape across the road, and people have now been allowed all the way up to the tape, so we are going to move up as well. Some plans do not always go as according to what they were drawn up as a couple weeks ago, and you can see that now. People are now being let much more forward than we were told earlier. People have also taken their places in front of Treasure Island, and you can see some of those folks. They are not leaving for anything despite the cool weather. The temperature has dropped. These folks have lined up, and they're ready to see another Las Vegas show. Steve?
All right, Mike, we have just minutes left in the history of the Sands Hotel. We believe there may be a slight delay as the implosion crew and the county fire folks make sure that area is clear of anyone who does not belong in that area. Robin Burke has a good view of the back portion of the hotel back there. Robin, how does it look from your vantage point?
Well, the interesting thing for a first-time implosion person right here is that they have taken